We are like that. We are friendly people, especially if you're from another country. The wages are really low. Sometimes even for us it's hard to get a job. Many areas of our city are not really covered by the bus transportation system. Hi guys, how are you? This is Luis from Vivo in Yucatan. This is our second video in English, and in this video we're going to talk about something really important: the best and the worst things of living in Mérida, Yucatan in Mexico. So remember, if you have any question about moving to Mexico, living in Mérida, Yucatan particularly, just put it in the comments, write it in the comments, and we will answer you as soon as possible. So we start with the best things of living in Mérida in Mexico. First, security. As you may know, Mexico is one of the most insecure countries in Latin America. It's close to Brazil and Venezuela in security issues. You know, we have a problem with narco traffic, we have a problem with organized crime, and we have to be really honest about it. Most of those problems are associated with the fact that Mexico produces a lot of drugs, and we have many organizations that work outside the law. But the insecurity situation is different in many states of our country. For example, here in Yucatan, our state, our province, also in places like Campeche or Nayarit, you can find really peaceful cities. Here is really peaceful. I live in Cancun my whole life, and I actually ran out of there because of the crime and other issues that Cancun currently have, because Mérida and Yucatan is a lot safer. So it's one really good thing. The security. Thing number two, the weather. Okay, the weather may be not really good or appropriate to many people because it's really hot, really hot. I mean, we are about 35 to 40 degrees right now. I think 40 degrees is more accurate. It's a really hot place, you know. But if you come from a country or a city that's really cloudy of the year, it's sometimes very different. It's really nicer to have this nice weather, really stable through all the year. And we also have a rainy season, of course, but like this day we always have sunlight, and that's because we're really close to the equator. So do you know, that's a fact, okay, that countries that are colder, people tend a lot more to depression because they are inside of their homes and they don't have a lot of light all the year. So it's a good thing, weather. You can go to the beach on December, you can go to the beach on March, you can go to the beach on September. The weather is always good to vacation, to have fun, and to throw parties maybe. Weather is a good thing. We go with number three. People is really warm. What do I mean by warm? We're really friendly people, okay? I have a sister that has lived in France for the past 8 years, and she told me that people there in Europe and many countries there are really I don't know how to say it. People are more serious, you know, they don't get in trust very much. They don't trust outsiders. They are not really friendly the first time you know them. But here in Mexico, for example, you can come here and the first day you get here, you can find some new friends. For example, if you know somebody for the first time and then he introduces you to the other friends, you can get to know them, you can get to go to their homes, maybe you can throw a party with them, you can travel to Cancun maybe the first day you know them, okay? So that's really different. We're really friendly, we trust people, and there's an old saying here in Mexico that says, my house is your house, mi casa es tu casa, and we really mean it. My house is your house. It's not weird that you know somebody and the first day he invites you to his place to maybe have a party, to have a small meeting, to do something, you know, it's really weird for other cultures and other people from around the globe. Mexicans, we are like that. We are friendly people, especially if you're from another country. If you're American, if you're European, people is going to find you not only attractive maybe, but exotic, and they're going to ask you to hang out with them. You're gonna have many friends on your first month here in Mexico, and you already have your first one here. I am already your friend. I don't even know you, and you don't even know me, but I'm your friend. I am your amigo. So that's how we are, and that's a really good thing. We go with the number four, the food. The food in Mexico, the Mexican food is amazing. I mean, it's really delicious. It's the best in the world. It's one of the best in the world. But Yucatecan food is in another whole level. I mean, we have panuchos, we have tortas de cochinita, we have sopa de lima, we have many awesome delicious things, tasty things that you're simply going to love. The food is something that we actually live for, okay? It's a really important part of our culture. So you'll get to try new different food every day, and you'll find it everywhere. And number 5, the tourist attractions, okay? You will find tourist attractions everywhere. You will find cenotes, you will find beautiful beaches, you will find what else? You will find archaeological zones. You know, many things are here in the Yucatan Peninsula. Cancun is really near from here, so if you really want it, you could go to another different place every weekend, and everything is really close, especially if you have a car. If you don't have a car, you may have some problems maybe with the transportation, because I think it's a little bit expensive for everybody. But if you have a car, you can go anywhere, every time, any weekend. You can live here as a tourist forever. Number 6, the cenotes, okay? What are these cenotes, or God swimming pool? I don't know the right name in English. These underground caves full of water. We have different types of cenotes, of course, but these are really beautiful sites, places to visit. You can swim inside, you can dive inside of them. You can find them everywhere in the Yucatan Peninsula. That's the only place in the world that you will find them, because of the meteorite that fell many millions years ago. I don't really know how to explain it, but these attractions, these natural attractions, are something really special from Yucatan to the world. Number 7, the housing is very cheap, especially if you earn in dollars. If you earn in euros, maybe you will find houses that are actually really cheap. You don't have to be the highest paid employee. You will find a really good house, a really good deal for a really good price. So housing is a really nice and good advantage of living in Mérida, Yucatan. Some houses in the center of our city might be a little bit too expensive maybe, but around the city, in the north side of our city, you will find houses, beautiful houses, for an incredible price. But I have to warn you, prices are going higher and higher every day, because many people is coming here to live in Mérida, Yucatan, so the prices are every time higher, and this is not gonna stop. So this is the best time to buy a house in Mérida. Number 8, the cost of living. I know that you might hear that Mérida is not really cheap, isn't the cheapest place, but if you get familiar with all the supermarkets and all the different ways you have to buy your groceries, your food, and other basic products, and if you have local friends to tell you where to buy your stuff, you're going to save a lot of money, because the cost of living is really cheap. If you buy only in the biggest shopping malls, you won't get the best prices. I'm really sure of that. You will get really higher prices. If somebody can tell you where to buy your stuff, the cost of living will be really small. Except for the gasoline. The gas is really expensive in all our country, and that's a big problem. I know everything is cheap except by the gas and other important stuff. 9, the music and the culture, okay? And maybe I wasn't supposed to say this. Actually, it's not in my script. But I love Mexico's traditional music. I really love it. I love the culture. I love different artistic expressions. So you'll find here in Mérida many museums. You will find some people that still play traditional music. So culture is amazing. You will also find these beautiful women that we call here mestizas, women that still wear the traditional clothes, something called el hipil or the huipil, and it's something very unique that you will find here in our city and in other small towns in our state. So we move from the best to the worst things of living in Mérida. Number 1, the language. Some people may find this incredibly hard for them, because not many people here in Mexico actually speaks English. We were able to understand it, right? But not many people actually speaks in English in a fluent way. I don't do it either. So if you don't speak any of Spanish, you will find some trouble at the moment you talk with somebody, at the moment you visit somebody. And even though if you ever had Spanish classes, you will find really hard to understand the way we speak here in Yucatan, okay? Our Spanish is really weird. I have to warn you, it's really weird. It's really hard to understand. It's really hard to catch it, because it sounds different. We speak too fast sometimes, so maybe those Spanish classes are not enough, and you are going to need to practice a lot more to understand us. Number 2, finding a job, a well-paid one. I have to tell you, Yucatan has one of the lower salaries in all our country. The wages are are really low. Sometimes even for us it's hard to get a job. So if you ever find one, you're going to earn in pesos but maybe spend in dollars, so that'd be really hard for you. Your budget is going to be really low. So my advice is to get your finances well solved. Another advice will be to work online, to work from your computer, and maybe to give English lessons to other people, but finding a job could be really hard for you. Number 3, the low water pressure. I mentioned this in other videos in Spanish. Sometimes for the water that comes from the public service, that comes from the city, doesn't have enough pressure to get to your tinaco. This tinaco is this, I don't know how to say it, this big container of water that you will find on the roofs of many houses, because from that tinaco the water goes down by gravity and feeds all your bathroom and the shower. So if the water can't even go high enough to feed your tinaco, to get to your tinaco, you will have problems. Okay, many people here build this called cistern or cisterna, these big water tanks, and then puts a bomb inside the cistern and pumps the water up, and that way they guarantee the water supply for the whole day. So if you don't have this cistern or cisterna, you will have problems sometimes of the year when water is scarce because rain hasn't come yet. So that's my advice, to get a house with a cistern or cisterna. So number 4, the weather. I mentioned it again because many people find this weather, this extreme hot weather, really hard to tolerate. Weather for some people is a really big deal. If you have a small house where the ventilation is not really good and you don't have air conditioning, you will not be able to survive most of the year, because temperatures can go as high as 50 Celsius degrees, maybe 55 even. So many people here cannot live without air conditioning or a well-designed house to survive the extreme hot weather. The next on the worst things of living in Merida are the mosquitoes. Okay, we have mosquitoes all the year, not only in the rainy season, not only in some months of the years. We have mosquitoes every time, and big mosquitoes. And if you don't have these mosquiteros, I don't know how to say it, these nets to cover all your windows and doors, you won't be able to survive them. And mosquitoes carry with them many diseases like dengue or chikungunya or Zika, so you have to get protection, you have to use repellent all the year. It's something you can't escape of. So if you don't like mosquitoes and you get chased for them, that will be a problem for you. The next one is public transportation. We don't have subways. Buses are not really efficient when it comes to transport people from one place to another. Many areas of our city are not really covered by the bus transportation system, so if you don't have a car, you are going to have some problems right there. Yes, we have Uber, yes, we have other platforms like that, but if you move only in Uber, you're going to spend a lot every month. That will be a real problem. The public transportation. Many foreign folks that I know actually live outside the city, so they need to have cars. The bus, they don't arrive there, so that's a problem. They must have a car, and if they don't, they just won't be able to move. Well guys, I have this crazy idea to create a group, a Facebook group, with all people that is actually watching these videos, that watches these videos that we produce for you, people that's interested in practicing Spanish or improving their Spanish. We can create a special group to practice between us. I like to improve my English, so if you like to be part of this group, this Facebook group, just put it on the comments, write it in the comments, and I create the group so we can practice a lot. We could even talk online, we could have video calls, why not, and just have fun practicing with others that doesn't speak your native language and helping others to actually learn another language. So if you like to be part of this group, just write it on the comments, why not? Okay, that wasn't planned, but I think it's a good idea, so that's why I mentioned it. So guys, that's all. I know I didn't mention many important things because this video is so short and we didn't have plenty of time right now, but if you want to watch more videos like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, to hit the notifications bell right there in your screen so you can know when we upload a new video for you. With that being said, this is all. See you later, amigos. Nos vemos, amigos, in the next video. See you soon. Cuídense. Take care. Goodbye. Adiós.